Hello students, let's start our class. Today we are going to discuss regarding the last portion of nationalism in India. The sense of collective belonging. Nationalism, as we know, spread when people feel commonness among themselves. This happens when they believe that they belong to the same nation. But the question arises how the people from different communities who have different beliefs, languages, and culture will come together to make the idea of nation a reality. Well, this sense of collective belonging came due to some reasons, like through their experience of united struggle or because of the variety of cultural process through which nationalism captures people's imagination. History and fiction, folk song and folk dance, popular prints and symbols plays a vital role in making the nationalism. Dear students, the identity of a nation is generally symbolized in the form of a figure or image. This helps in creating an image with which people can relate. So, in the 20th century, as the nationalism was growing in our country, the idea of Indian came to be visualized as Bharat Mata. To start with, it was Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay who created image through his poem Vande Mataram. He wrote his poem in 1870 in which he wrote a hymn for his motherland. Later this poem was added in his novel Anandamath and was widely sung during the Swadeshi movement in Bengal. Later Abanindranath Tagore painted an image of Bharat Mata. He painted her as an ascetic. She looks calm, divine, and spiritual. In the following years, Bharat Mata was painted into different forms. Different artists painted her in their own way. The painting was circulated in popular prints. Soon the devotion to this mother figure came to be seen as evidence of one's nationalism. The idea of nationalism not only developed with the female depiction of India but also through the Indian folklore. During the late 19th century, many nationalists began the collection of various folk songs, folk tales, and legends that were sung in villages across India. They did this in order to preserve their folk traditions, which was the original culture of India, which was damaged by the outsiders. Various prominent figures felt it as a need of an hour to preserve the folklore in order to restore a sense of pride in one's past. In Bengal, Rabindranath Tagore began collecting ballads, nursery rhymes, and myths, and in Madras, Natasha Sastry published a massive 4 volume collection of Tamil folk tales, the folklore of southern India. Both of them were of the view that the folklore is the true demonstration of the people's real thoughts and characteristics. In the later years, as the national movement developed, various nationalist leaders chose symbols or icons to generate the feeling of nationalism and unification among the Indians. For instance, during the Swadeshi movement in Bengal, tricolor flag was designed. The flag had 8 lotuses which represented the 8th province of British India. It also had a crescent moon that was used to represent the Hindus and Muslims. Even Gandhiji also designed a Swaraj flag. His flag was also tricolor, having red, green and white with a spinning wheel in its centers. The spinning wheel represented the Gandhian ideal of self-help. During those days, carrying a flag during the protest or march symbolized the resistance against the British rule. Another idea which was used to create a feeling of nationalism was our own past, that is, our history. Many of the Indians began feeling that to instill a sense of pride in the nation, Indian history had to be thought about differently, as we all know that Britishers saw Indians as backward and incompetent to govern themselves. Therefore, various writers started writing about the glorious Indian past. They wrote about the developments that took place in the past in various categories, such as architecture, science and mathematics, religion and culture, law and philosophy, crafts and trade, etc. They explained how our glorious past declined with the coming of the colonial rule in our country. The writers asked the readers to struggle in order to bring back the glory of our country and to end the oppressive British rule in India. The various efforts made to unify people were also somehow got connected with the controversies. It was so because when the past was glorified, it was connected with the Hinduism. Even the images were also drawn from Hindu iconography. Therefore, the people from other communities felt left out. Dear students, so at last we can say that the growing outrage towards the oppressive rule of the colonial government was the main reason that brought all the people of India together to initiate a common struggle for freedom in the first half of the 20th century. The Congress under Mahatma Gandhi tried to channelize the problems of people into organized movements for independence. With the help of these movements, he tried to force a national unity among the Indians, but as we have read in the chapter, that various groups joined the struggle with their own perception and aspirations. A situation of differences between these groups arise. Congress made several attempts to keep these groups together, but there were such times when the differences grew so strong that it became difficult for the Congress to keep these groups together. So here we can say that it was a time when a new nation was emerging with various people demanding freedom from colonial rule. Thank you, students. Have a nice day.